Okay, so picture this. You're about to go into a job interview
Mm-hmm.
for a digital designer role, feeling prepped, confident, ready to really wow them.
Yeah.
That's what we're diving into today.
Cool.
How to nail that interview.
Love it.
We've got this great article from Indeed.com UK. It's been updated pretty recently this past June.
Oh, nice.
And it's all about, typical digital designer interview questions
Okay.
and how to just knock your answers out of the park.
Yeah, even for seasoned designers, I think a little refresher on interview best practices never hurts.
Oh, for sure.
The design world is constantly changing,
Right.
and so are the expectations of hiring managers.
Absolutely. And this Indeed article, it kind of jumps right into that. It's not just about knowing the software anymore.
Right.
It's really about that blend of creative thinking and technical skills.
Yeah.
And they even specifically mention UX/UI,
Oh, yeah.
which makes sense, but I bet some people listening might not be super familiar with those terms.
You're right. It's easy to throw around jargon. Yeah.
UX is basically user experience.
Okay.
How easy and enjoyable something is to use.
Gotcha.
And UI, that's user interface.
Mhm.
So what you actually see and interact with on the screen.
Right.
So interviewers are looking for designers who get that it's not just about pretty visuals, it's
Yeah.
about how the user experiences the whole thing.
It's the whole package deal.
Exactly.
Okay, so UX, UI, crucial.
hmm
The article also lists some key software, which honestly feels a bit like, duh, you need to know Photoshop.
Yes.
But I'm curious if there's more to it than just listing these programs off.
Sure.
They mention Adobe Creative Suite, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign the classics.
Right. But think about it this way.
Okay.
Knowing the software is like table stakes.
Okay.
It's like a chef knowing how to use a knife.
Gotcha.
What sets you apart is how you wield that knife.
Yeah.
What incredible dishes you can create.
Right.
So yeah, Photoshop is a must, but maybe you're amazing at photo retouching for campaigns
Well.
or creating those super realistic product mock-ups.
Yeah. Illustrator. Are you a logo whiz? Or do you excel at detailed illustrations for packaging?
Interesting.
InDesign, can you lay out a magazine that's both beautiful and easy to read?
Yeah.
It's about going deeper than just, I know this program.
I love that, going deeper. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. I actually struggled with my portfolio for ages, never knowing what projects to include. The article stresses that a strong portfolio is visual,
Yeah.
not just words, which seems obvious, but maybe not to everyone.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
It's tempting to just throw every project you've ever done into a portfolio,
Right.
but that can be super overwhelming for the person looking at it.
Right.
Think about the kind of job you want.
Yep.
Are you applying for a UI UX role at a tech company?
Yeah.
Highlight those mobile app designs and website prototypes.
Makes sense.
Going for a branding agency, focus on logos and visual identity systems.
Gotcha.
Variety is good,
Yeah.
but relevance is key.
Relevance is key.
Okay.
They also had this cool tip about linking to your professional social media.
Oh, yeah.
So not just Instagram where you're posting, vacation pics,
Yeah.
but maybe LinkedIn or a design-specific platform.
Exactly. It's not just about showing finished work, but how you engage with the design community, what inspires you, how you think about design.
I like that.
And honestly, in today's world, interviewers are going to Google you.
Oh, yeah.
So having a professional online presence is smart,
It's just like part of the game now.
pretty much.
Okay, so we've got our skills sharpened. We've got our portfolio curated now. Comes the scary part of the actual interview questions.
Oh,
The Indeed article has a bunch of common ones, even sample answers.
nice.
Should we pick a few of the most interesting ones to break down?
Let's do it.
Okay.
It's one thing to read sample answers,
Right.
but understanding why they work
Yeah.
and how to make them your own is where the magic happens.
That's the key. That's the secret sauce.
For sure.
All right, here's one that I always find tricky. How do you approach a new design project?
Ooh. Good one.
The sample answer is all about understanding the client's goals and target audience before even starting to design.
That's the client-first mindset.
Okay.
So important. It shows you're not just about making things look cool.
Right.
You're thinking strategically.
Yeah.
Maybe you could even mention a specific framework you use,
Oh, interesting.
like design thinking or agile methodologies.
Yeah.
It adds a layer of professionalism and shows you're organized.
So I'm not just saying I'd make a mood board and go from there.
Right?
I'm showing I have a process.
Exactly.
Okay, what about this one? How do you stay updated on industry trends?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Their answer talks about following design blogs and attending events.
Those are great, but everyone says that.
Oh, okay.
Think about what specifically excites you.
Yeah.
Maybe you're obsessed with a certain design podcast, or you love going to typography conferences.
Right.
That shows passion and that you're going deeper than just skimming headlines.
Deeper.
Plus, it's a chance to mention something you genuinely enjoy talking about,
Yeah.
which can make you more memorable to the interviewer.
That's huge.
Right.
Okay, so far so good, but I know there are some tougher questions lurking in that article.
Ah.
Let's tackle those in part 2 of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
Don't go anywhere.
All right, let's get into some of those tougher questions, the ones that really test your problem-solving skills.
Yeah.
And how you handle those soft skills that employers value so much these days.
Right. Thinking back to my own interview experiences, the question about handling client rejection always made me nervous.
Oh, yeah?
What if they just hate everything I've done?
It's scary.
The Indeed article suggests emphasizing understanding the client's perspective and asking clarifying questions.
That's a great approach. It shows you're not just taking the feedback personally.
Yeah.
You're genuinely trying to understand where they're coming from.
Right.
Maybe you could say something like, if a client rejected my design, I'd first want to understand their concerns, what specifically isn't working for them. Is it the visual style?
Right.
The functionality? Something else.
Okay.
Once I have a clearer picture of their feedback, I can use that to revise the design in a way that meets their needs and achieves their goals.
So it's about turning that rejection into a collaborative process, not a battle.
And remember, feedback is a gift.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Even when it's hard to hear, it helps us grow as designers and create even better work.
Okay, here's another question that always pops up.
Okay.
Can you tell me about a time you had to meet a tight deadline?
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, deadlines are part of life for any creative professional.
Yeah, right.
But how do you make that answer stand out?
Instead of just saying I'm good at managing my time, tell a story.
Okay.
Pick a specific project where you faced a real-time crunch.
Okay.
Maybe a website launch was moved up or there were unexpected revisions.
Yeah.
Walk them through how you prioritize tasks. Maybe even had to pull a few all-nighters, but ultimately delivered a quality product on time and kept everyone happy.
So it's about showing, not just telling.
Exactly.
What about this one? This seems like a real test.
Okay.
How do you handle constructive criticism?
Oh, that's a big one.
Feedback is so important,
Yeah.
but it can be tough to hear, especially when you've poured your heart into a design.
I actually had a professor in design school who used to say, if you're not getting criticism, you're not pushing yourself hard enough.
Wow.
It's how we learn and grow.
Okay.
In an interview setting, you want to show that you're open to feedback. You see it as an opportunity to improve.
Right.
Maybe you could talk about a time you received critique that you initially disagreed with,
Uh-huh.
but then realized it actually made the design stronger.
That's a great point. It's about showing that you're not just nodding along to whatever someone says.
Yeah.
You're thoughtfully considering the feedback and using it to make informed decisions.
Right. And remember, everyone receives criticism differently.
Oh, that's true.
Some people need time to process it. Others want to jump right into solutions. It's okay to acknowledge that and talk about how you personally handle feedback in a way that works best for you. Okay, one more question from the Indeed article that caught my eye.
Okay.
How do you adapt your design approach due to technological constraints or changes?
Ooh, good one.
This seems especially relevant in digital design, where things are constantly evolving.
It's all about showing you're adaptable and a lifelong learner.
Okay.
Think about a time you had to learn a new software program on the fly,
Right.
or maybe a project where the client suddenly decided they wanted a mobile app instead of a website.
Yeah.
How did you adjust your design thinking and your process?
So it's not just about keeping up with the latest trends.
Right.
It's about being able to pivot when things change unexpectedly.
Absolutely. And showing that you're excited to learn new things, that you see these challenges as opportunities, not setbacks.
This has been super helpful.
Yeah.
We've covered so much ground already, but there's one more crucial piece to discuss.
Hi.
How to really stand out,
Uh-huh.
to showcase that you-ness that makes you the perfect candidate. Let's dive into that in part 3 of our deep dive. So we talked about skills and portfolios, even how to handle those tricky interview questions. But now I'm curious, what about that extra something,
Yeah.
that you-ness that makes a candidate really stand out?
It's like this. Imagine two designers with similar skills and portfolios. They both know the software. They've got impressive projects. They answer the questions well.
Right.
Well, one of them just has this spark,
Yeah.
something that makes them memorable.
Okay, I'm all ears. How do you tap into that spark?
It's about bringing your whole self to the interview, not just your designer self.
Okay.
Think about your passions outside of work. Maybe you're a musician, a rock climber, a history buff.
Mm-hmm.
How do those interests inform your design thinking?
Right.
Do they make you more detail-oriented, better at collaboration, more attuned to visual storytelling?
So it's about connecting those dots.
Yeah.
Showing that you're a well-rounded person, not just a design robot.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to share those personal anecdotes.
Okay.
Did your experience organizing community events make you a pro at project management?
Right.
Did your love of travel inspire a series of travel app designs in your portfolio? Those stories make you relatable and memorable.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I remember once I was interviewing for a design role at a company that made like eco-friendly products.
Oh, cool.
And I totally geeked out about my composting system
Nice.
and my obsession with zero waste living. And I think they could tell I was genuinely passionate about their mission, not just looking for any design job.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
You weren't just reciting your resume, you were sharing a part of yourself that resonated with their values.
Totally. Okay. So we've given our listener a ton of great advice today. Any final words of wisdom as they get ready to conquer those interviews?
Yeah, remember, preparation builds confidence.
Yes.
Do your research on the company, practice your answers out loud, and most importantly, visualize yourself succeeding. Love it.
You've got the skills, you've got the portfolio. Now go out there and show them what you're made of.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And one final thought to leave you with: what unique perspective or passion do you bring to the table?
Ooh.
That makes you the perfect designer for that dream role.
Yeah.
Explore that question, and I have a feeling amazing things will happen.
Best of luck on your journey.
Thanks for listening.